If you think martial arts are about flashy kicks, you've already lost. Silat doesn't care about trophies, it cares about survival. But here's the disturbing part. Most of Silat's real techniques were never meant for sport. They were designed for assassins, bodyguards, and jungle warfare. One strike, one movement, and the fight ends before it even begins. Yet modern martial arts gyms will never teach you these moves, because once you understand them, you stop fighting like a martial artist and start thinking like a hunter. Today, I'm revealing 13 deadly Silat techniques that were considered too dangerous for competition and sometimes even illegal to teach. And the last move? It's so ruthless, some Silat masters refuse to demonstrate it on camera. Let's begin. Silat isn't like karate. It isn't like taekwondo. Those arts train fighters. Silat trains ambush predators. Imagine the difference between a boxing match and a tiger attack. Boxers exchange punches. Tigers end the fight instantly. Silat was built on the tiger philosophy. Strike first, break structure, disappear. Now let's look at the first move. Move 1, Harimau sweep, the tiger trap. Silat fighters study animals, especially tigers, because tigers don't fight standing up. They attack low and suddenly. The Harimau sweep is exactly that. The fighter drops low, hooks the opponent's ankle, and sweeps the leg while pushing the upper body. The result? The opponent's balance collapses instantly. Imagine pulling the bottom block out of a Jenga tower. Everything crashes. Once the opponent hits the ground, Silat fighters immediately follow with elbows or stomps, and the fight ends in seconds. But the next move is even more terrifying, because it attacks the spine. Move 2, the Cobra elbow. If Mike Tyson punches like a truck, this move hits like a cobra strike. The Cobra elbow is a short, explosive elbow aimed at the neck or jaw. But here's the trick. Silat fighters don't swing wide. They fire the elbow from inches away, which means the opponent never sees it coming. Think of it like the difference between a baseball swing and a pistol shot. One is visible, the other is instant. This technique was often used by bodyguards to neutralize attackers in crowded spaces. But the next move doesn't just knock you down, it destroys your balance system entirely. Move 3, the ear slap, the balance destroyer. This technique looks simple, but it's brutal. A full force slap to both ears simultaneously. Why? Because the inner ear controls balance and orientation. A powerful ear strike can cause instant dizziness, loss of balance, temporary disorientation. It's like someone suddenly shutting off your brain's GPS. You're standing, and suddenly the world starts spinning, which is exactly when a Silat fighter launches the next attack. And that next technique targets one of the most fragile joints in the body. Move 4, the wrist shatter lock. Silat practitioners love joint destruction because joints are weak points in the human machine. The wrist shatter lock twists the wrist beyond its natural range. But here's what makes Silat different. Instead of slowly applying pressure, they snap the joint violently and instantly. Imagine twisting a plastic spoon until it snaps. That's the idea. This technique was historically used by palace guards in Southeast Asia to control intruders. But the next move doesn't control. It ends fights immediately. Move 5. The knife hand to the throat. In most martial arts, the knife hand strike is used for points or demonstrations. In Silat, it's aimed directly at the trachea. A precise strike here can cause breathing disruption, extreme pain, immediate panic response. Think of it like pressing the power button on a computer. Everything shuts down. But the next move is even more ruthless, because it targets something even more fragile, the knee. Move 6, the knee breaker. The knee only bends one direction. Silat takes advantage of that. A side kick or stomp directly into the side of the knee forces the joint the wrong way. Biomechanically, the knee simply cannot survive that pressure. It's like bending a door hinge backward. Something has to break, and once mobility is gone, the opponent is finished. But Silat doesn't just destroy legs, it also attacks the eyes. Move 7, the tiger claw. This technique looks straight out of a movie, but it's extremely real. The hand forms a claw and targets the eyes or face. The purpose isn't elegance, it's instant sensory overload. Pain, shock, blindness. For a few seconds, the opponent's brain goes into panic mode, which gives the Silat fighter time for the next move, and that move targets the brain itself.
Move 8. The temple strike. The temple is one of the most vulnerable points on the skull. A sharp strike here can cause disorientation, unconsciousness, neurological shock. Silat fighters often use a hammer fist or elbow to strike this area. Think of it like tapping the side of a computer tower, except the computer is the human nervous system, and when it glitches, the body shuts down. But the next technique is even more cunning, because it uses deception. Move 9. The Silat feint. Silat fighters are masters of misdirection. They'll fake one attack, then strike somewhere completely different. It's like a magician performing a card trick. Your attention goes one direction, the real action happens somewhere else. Muhammad Ali used similar psychology in boxing. But Silat fighters combine deception with joint destruction and pressure strikes, which makes it far more dangerous. And now we reach a move used by historical assassins. Move 10. The neck snap throw. This move begins like a simple clinch, but the fighter suddenly twists the opponent's head and body in opposite directions. This creates massive torque on the cervical spine. It's the same physics used when opening a stubborn jar lid, except the jar is the human neck. Historically, this technique was used in close quarters combat during ambushes, but the next move might be the most terrifying so far, because it happens before the fight even begins. Move 11. The ambush entry. Silat was designed for jungle warfare, which means fighters specialize in surprise attacks. They don't square up, they attack from angles, behind walls, from shadows. Imagine a chess player who doesn't wait for the game to start. They flip the board before the first move. That's Silat strategy. But the next technique is brutally efficient, because it targets the groin. Move 12. The destroyer kick. This is a fast upward kick to the groin. Simple, direct, devastating. There's no complex setup, no spinning, no flashy movement, just raw efficiency. Think of it like pressing an emergency shutdown button. fight over. But the final move is the one many Silat masters refuse to talk about. Move 13, the assassin finisher. The final Silat principle is brutal. Once the opponent is down, you don't give them time to recover. Silat fighters immediately follow with stomps or finishing strikes. This wasn't sport. This was life or death combat. And hesitation meant death. So the philosophy became simple. End the threat. Immediately. Silat isn't just another martial art. It's a survival system built for real combat, where hesitation could mean losing everything. These 13 moves show one brutal truth. The most dangerous fighters don't rely on strength. They exploit human weaknesses. So tell me in the comments, which move shocked you the most? And if you want to discover more forbidden martial arts techniques most people will never learn, subscribe now, because the next video might reveal something even deadlier.